Hello there, yeah. Good morning. You are listening to Radio Mirchi 1310 AM, and this is your one and only RJ Mirchita. And again, I am back today with COVID awareness show daily. And today is our day 50. Wow. I'm super happy, healthy, fulfilled, motivated, and excited because today is our day 50. Can you imagine? 50 દિવસથી અમે constant show કરીએ છીએ ભાઈ. Oh no, Jale. I'm going to celebrate because it is time to celebrate. But today, we have an amazing doctor with us, Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya, and he's going to talk about kids and COVID and infection in the kids and vaccination plus obesity in kids and MISC. આપણે આ ટોપિક પહેલા પણ લીધેલો છે આપણા શોમાં, રાઈટ? આપણે પીડિયા શો કરેલો જ્યારે આપણે 3-4 pediatriciansને બોલાવેલા શોમાં, and we did talk about it. But today we are also going to talk about obesity in kids. આપણી મમ્મી છે ને જનરલી આપણને ઘી ખા, બેટા ઘી ખા. અરે how much ghee you gonna give us? એટલે ક્યારેક મને એમ થાય કે તમે નાનપણથી એટલું ઘી ખાઓ છો કે પછી મોટા થાય ને ત્યારે ડાયટિશિયન પાસે જવું પડે. કેમ? કારણ કે આપણે બહુ ઘી ખાધું છે, આપણે બહુ બટર ખાધું છે, આપણને જ નથી ખબર કેટલું ઘી અને બટરના લેયર્સ આપણી અંદર છે, નહીં? અને પછી છે ને લોકો એમ કહેતા હોય છે કે when I was a kid, my mom used to feed me ghee and butter and chapati and roti and naan and paratha. Yeah, because ghee wale parothe, that's what you have eaten, no? You have eaten that parothe and then you fall sick, right? So Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya, he specializes in that, and he's going to tell us about that obesity in kids, but also about multisystem inflammatory syndrome in children. એટલે organs fail થાય one by one kidsમાં. Did you know that? આપણે શું કરેલું છે થોડો ઘણો તો તમને આઈડિયા હશે જ, but we are just going to touch base on it, and I'm going to introduce now Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya, a little bit about him. So Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya completed his MBBS from Ambisha Medical College in 1995 and graduated with MD DCH in 1999. He worked at government hospital as superintendent and pediatrician for 3 years. Later, he started his own private clinic and hospital, which is currently known as Killol Children Hospital and NICU. For 18 years, he has been working as a private consulting pediatrician and critical care specialist. His special area of interest are vaccines, infectious diseases, malnutrition and obesity. એટલે ઘણા પેરેન્ટ્સ હોય ને જે આમ કહેતા હોય છે કે અમે તો ભાઈ ખાધેલ પીધેલ ઘરના છે. મને કોઈ એવું કીધું કે અમારા છોકરાઓ તો કઈ થોડા માઈકાંગલા હોય બેન, અમે તો ખાધેલ પીધેલ ઘરના છે. એટલે મેં કીધું હા સાચી વાત છે, પણ આપણા છોકરા ઓબીસ પણ ના હોવા જોઈએ, રાઈટ? ભલે તમે ખાધેલ પીધેલ ઘરના હો. તો the another thing was malnutrition that I was talking about. Kids ખાધેલ પીધેલ ઘરના અને બહુ જ ઓબીસ હોય પણ તોય એમ malnourished હોય છે, કારણ કે જે વિટામિન્સ, મિનરલ્સ અને જે એસેન્શિયલ્સ જ્યારે તમારી જ્યારે તમારી એજ હોય, તમે નાના હો, જ્યારે તમને મળવા જોઈએ એ ના મળે અને તમને ખાલી ઘી ને બટર જ મળ્યા કરે તો તમે ફેટી જ બની જાઓ ને. એનીવે, ઇફ યુ હેવ વોચ્ડ કભી ખુશી કભી ગમ, તો એમાં એક ખબર છે રિતિક રોશન ઇઝ મોટું ખાધેલ પીધેલ ઘરનો, એને લડ્ડુ જ ખવડાવ્યા કરે છે. અરે બિચારાનો કઈ વાંક નથી. સો એવું તમે ના કરતા, બટ વી વિલ ટોક ટુ ડોક્ટર ભાર્ગવ ઓન ધેટ. And we also have with us who is leading the show, which is our favorite doctor, which is Dr. Dr.Modha, who is founder of Gokul Group of Hospitals. અને આપણે જેને કહીએ છે ભીષ્મ પિતામહ ઓફ સર્જરી, અને હું જેમને કહું છું સર્જનોના સર્જન. એટલે એ આમ છે ને બધા જ સર્જન્સને ટ્રેન કરે છે, ડેવલપ કરે છે અને આ શોમાં લઈ આવે છે. તો now I would like to invite our one and only Dr. Dr.Modha to share some COVID statistics, એટલે કે world statistics, ઇન્ડિયાના સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક્સ, ગુજરાતના સ્ટેટિસ્ટિક્સ અને રાજકોટના કે મ્યુકોરમાઇકોસિસનું શું થયું ભાઈ, થર્ડ વેવનું શું ચાલે છે, વેક્સિન્સનું શું થયું અને કેસીસ કેટલા ઇન્ક્રીઝ થયા છે, ડિક્રીઝ થયા છે. અને હા, ઓસ્ટ્રેલિયામાં પણ કેસીસ છે. Let me tell you that. જેમ કાલે આપણે ડોક્ટર મોઢાએ સમજાવ્યું એમ. But I would like to invite him. So now, over to Dr. Modha. Hello, Dr. Modha. Dr. Modha.
Yes.
Welcome.
Good evening, viewers in India, and good morning, viewers in US. Today I'm bit just came out from the operation theater, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't have the statistic of USA, UK,
Uh-huh.
and Australia,
Okay.
but I've got the statistics of Gujarat.
Sure, sure.
So in Gujarat, total number of new cases were 112 new cases,
Mm-hmm.
112 new cases, અને
Uh-huh.
only 3 death.
Good, good.
Ahmedabad is 24 new cases, Surat 20 new cases, Baroda 21 new cases, Rajkot 9 new cases, Bhavnagar only 1 new case,
Mm-hmm.
Jamnagar only 3 new cases, and Junagadh only 4 new cases. So looking at the scenario in Gujarat,
Mm-hmm.
COVID is decreasing, and overall in India also COVID is decreasing. There are
Hello. Dr. Moda, can you repeat
hello.
that? Yeah, yeah. Now I can hear you. Can you repeat that? Hello. Yes, I can hear you. Hello. Dr. Moda, are you there? I can hear you. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I can
So
hear
in
you.
Gujarat,
Mm-hmm.
overall, can you hear me?
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. So overall in Gujarat, COVID is decreasing, but there are few cases rising in Mumbai,
Uh-huh.
and it is yesterday I mentioned that Delta plus few cases has been found in Mumbai,
Hmm.
but overall still the number of cases is reducing, and so far in India there is no fear of third wave, but it may come according to the experts.
Mm-hmm.
They said that there are chances that we may get third wave in September or October 2021. But it
Hmm.
is જો અને તો એના જેવી વાત છે. So let us pray God it should not come. And about the mucormycosis, I will tell
Yes.
you,
Uh-huh.
the cases are reducing a lot. We have not operated any mucormycosis since last 1 week in our hospital,
Arre वाह.
and uh, the more things about the Delta uh, variants. Delta plus variant is we have got 1 or 2 cases in Ahmedabad, but it is not commonly found in Gujarat. So let us hope it should not come, and we pray God that God should give us a courage to face the this Delta plus virus also. So it's nothing much to be worried, and let us pray that we must continue uh, having a regress in COVID, and we must be ready to fight with the COVID if at all it should come. Thank you, Mirchita. With these remarks, I will hand over to you and Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya. Please.
Welcome, Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya, and we are here, and this is Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya. હું ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શન આપું તો કહું છું શોમાં કે બુક લખવી પડે આપણે એટલું સરસ બધા ડોક્ટર્સ એક્સપર્ટ્સ આપણે લઈને આવીએ છીએ તો વેલકમ ડોક્ટર ભાર્ગવ અને ડોક્ટર મોઢા ડુ યુ વોન્ટ સે અ few words about Dr. Bhargav and then we can start.
Yeah, yeah. Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya is a pediatrician who is known for uh, this vaccination treatment in kids,
Uh-huh.
obesity in kids, and he will tell us about the COVID in kids. So Bhargav is expert in that, and he has got his own hospital, Kilol Hospital,
Mm-hmm.
and he has worked in the government hospital also in past. So he will be guiding us that when the COVID vaccine for children is coming,
Uh-huh.
and other routine vaccination for the children. He'll also guide us about the other routine vaccination, like what should I say, polio drops, this BCG vaccination, and uh, whooping cough vaccination. All these things he will tell us in detail, and at the same time, he will tell us about the MIS-C.
See.
That means mini multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children, MIS-C. So he will tell us about the MIS-C also in detail. So over to Dr. Bhargav Sorathiya. Please enlighten us and our viewers about the.
Hello, Dr. Moda. Yes, we can hear you.
So whose internet is wrong? I think you
Yes,
can hear me, no? So
yes,
now
now
it
we can
is
hear. Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Bhargav's turn. Bhargav,
yes. Yes, Dr.
keep your
Bhargav.
internet steady
Welcome to the
so
show.
that there should not be a problem.
Yes. Good
So,
evening, Dr.
Mirchita,
Modha,
start
sir.
with the first question.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Bhargav, you want to say a few words, and or should I start with the questions?
Start with the question.
Okay.
No problem.
સો વી હેવ ડોક્ટર ભાર્ગવ અને જેમ ડોક્ટર મોઢાએ તમને બધાને કીધું જ છે કે આટલું સરસ એ સ્પેશિયલાઇઝેશન છે એમનું. તો ફર્સ્ટ ક્વેશ્ચન આપણે આમ એકદમ સરસ લઈએ એમની પાસે, which is it is said that in next wave children will be affected more severely. How much possibility of severe COVID-19 in children in next wave is feared?
It is uh, falsely feared because children will not get severe disease. Until now, they have not got any severe disease. The reason are that when COVID virus enters the body, it combines with the ACE2 inhibitor, uh, which are very less in number in children. uh, Angiotensin converting enzyme 2 type of receptor that are present in adult in a very great number in nose, mouth, lungs, and GI tract, our intestine. So COVID virus attach with them and form a complex that dissolve the membrane of the cell and then finally enter the cell. But that get are not present in children. So when a house that have no gates, then how the enemy can enter in the our house? That is a
Yes.
situation is like that. So number one is S2 in receptors, and number two is that thymus gland in children is very enlarged. That is a cast a shadow of thymus. When we see a X-ray of a child, there is a thymus shadow. Many mistake it as a cardiomegaly. It is actually thymic shadow. So thymus gland produces T cells that are very essential in producing cellular immunity against COVID virus. So due to enlarged thymus, children have innate immunity. And third is they have derived from the innate immunity from mother also. So child is naturally protected against COVID. So until the variant is totally different from the previous variant, it
Hmm.
is formed in a very different manner. Like they don't require S2 in a receptor for entering, so they change the gates of our house to enter.
Hmm.
Then and then only child will get very severe disease. So the possibility are very rare. So in the next wave, children will get severe disease. Possibility is rare. And the other thing is that in the previous wave, the same amount as adults, children are also infected.
Uh-huh.
So they, yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. So while the Sero survey was done in major cities in India,
Mm-hmm.
and 44 to 50% children have been infected. So they
Okay.
have got antibodies.
Hmm.
Uh, it is a different matter that they have not got severe disease, but they were infected and they were asymptomatic carrier, or they have got a very less severe disease. So they are already infected. So they have as much herd immunity as adults. So
Mm-hmm.
that is also a reason that in third wave, if the strains are same or not very virulent, then
Mm-hmm.
they will not get a very severe disease. Uh,
Okay. Yes, yes. Excellent answer. Dr. Moda, can you hear us?
Yes, yes, I am. Can you hear
Perf-
me?
yes, we can. We were
I
just
have stopped my
discussing.
internet. This is my mobile data.
This is perfect.
Yeah.
So we were discussing about the third wave, and Dr. Bhargav was telling me that there is not much possibility that it will affect the children because they are already immunized. They have antibodies. 50%, right? That's what you told Dr. Bhargav.
Yes,
That's what you mentioned.
44 to 50% in metro cities,
Huh.
they have in zero survey as much as adults. Adults are also between 44 to 50% in zero survey. So they are not in less number than adults.
Huh. Yes, Dr. Moda, comments?
Yeah, Bhargav, tell me
Yes, sir.
about the nasal vaccine which is coming for the children from
Uh,
Bharat.
Biotech.
yes. That I will was giving answer in the last question, but now I am
Okay,
summarizing
okay,
this.
give it at the last. No
Yes,
problem.
Ye-
No
Okay.
yes,
problem.
yes. No problem. I am mentioning here that will be a breakthrough in the immunity of children because all other vaccines can prevent severe disease. But this nasal vaccine prevent infection
Hmm.
because when virus enter our body produces three types of immunoglobulin: immunoglobulin A, immunoglobulin M, and immunoglobulin G.
Uh-huh.
Uh, Immunoglobulin M and G is essential in uh, our immunity against disease. But immunoglobulin A is present in the local area, like
Hmm.
nose, throat. They are the front line warriors, like our Pfizer or army.
Yes.
So yeah. So disease can produce immunoglobulin, but vaccine will not produce immunoglobulin A. So immunoglobulin A is not produced by vaccine. So coronavirus, even if we are vaccinated, coronavirus can attach, can enter the body, but they do not produce severe disease. But by giving nasal vaccine, they will produce because it is given by local route where the virus is entering. So it will produce immunoglobulin A also. So what in children we particularly need is local antibody because they are not getting severe disease anyhow. But if
Hmm.
they produces local antibody, then they will not able to infect others also. So they will not get infection. So it is
Hmm.
a very breakthrough in it will be breakthrough in pediatric nasal vaccine in adults also. Yes, sir.
Yes, Dr. Moda.
Bhargav,
Yes, yes,
I
Dr.
have
Moda.
heard that it is from 3 years to 12 years or 3 years to 15 years, 18 years for them only. But what will happen to 1 to 3 years?
Yes, for generally 1 to 3 years. It is not because for 1 to 3 years because they have to take inner breath means in deep inspiration while taking vaccine. When the when we give vaccine, they have to take deep inspiration. Otherwise, vaccine will be thrown out. But slowly, it will also be available between 2 to 3 years who can take a deep breath while giving vaccine. Because due to procedure, it is a cumbersome in give 1 to 3 years because they will be crying. So vaccine will be when we give the spray, they will give expiration. They will exhale out
Yeah, 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 yeah.
other than inner. So it will be not
West.
effective. That may be the reason.
I
Okay.
always used to do that as a child. कि મને દવા આપે ને તો I'll be like and I'll remove it.
No,
Yes,
Bhargav,
Dr. Moda.
that means that 1 to 3 years of child will not require vaccine or will not be given a vaccine.
No, they will be required vaccine because so that they cannot transmit the disease. They are not getting disease in a severe form, but they can transmit to others because in children viral load is very heavy than adults. The
Yeah,
number of
yeah.
virus in mouth is 10 to 100 times more than adults. So
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
yes, it has been proved in research. So they can, when
Mhm.
they get infected, they will infect elderly in the house. So that is
Mhm.
the problem with 1 to 3 years. So it will it will be in the line after 3 to 12 years. It will come for 1 to 3 year also, and injectable will be also because they have not done research in 1 to 3 year. As soon as they will do research, then it will be available like in 1 to 3 year.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Bhargav. Ishita, next question, please.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is shocking, right? કે કિડ્સમાં વધારે હોય છે વાયરસ.
Yes,
Virus.
yes.
એ આપણને
Virus
માંદા
is
પાડી દે.
yes, yes, yes. That
Okay.
is the reason more and more pediatricians are infected during wave.
Oh.
Yeah,
Even more than COVID ICU doctors, more pediatricians are infected in COVID.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
That is
Thank
true.
you. Thank you, Dr. Modha and Dr. Bhargav. Next question આપણે લઈએ, which is, what are the symptoms of COVID in children? Does it differ from adults?
Oh yes. The symptoms in children are most of same, but in some symptoms different. In adults, first I will take is the most common symptoms are fever, body ache, weakness. Then comes in the prevalence of occurrence. They will come coughing, cold, breathlessness, abdominal pain, vomiting. But in children, most common is fever, but instead of body ache or weakness, there will be complaint of excessive crying. So it is a matter of expression of child. They will not say I am feeling weak. They will cry or become lethargic.
Yes. But
Yes,
do they
they will
stop
Yeah.
be.
feeding, eating? Do they stop either feeding or eating the food or liquids?
Yes, that is a anorexia in the children. Some in some children anorexia is
Mm-hmm.
there. And diarrhea is very common in children than
Mm-hmm.
adults. Fever, lethargy, excessive crying, anorexia, diarrhea, vomiting, and then coughing and cold and breathlessness. They are the main symptoms in children.
Alrighty.
Very good.
The next question, which is, if children gets less severe disease, then is it safe to open the school?
Yes, that is the safe when all adults get vaccinated. Because when even if children are safe from severe disease, but they can get infected and they can spread disease to the elder. In our Indian community, we have a very joint family with elderly in the family, and until and unless we vaccinate all the adults and elderly people, and we can have a facility to cross quarantine the elderly people. When a child
Uh-huh.
get infected, we can quarantine the elder people, then we can open the school. Otherwise, before adults vaccination, we cannot open the school. And preferably, if after 60 to 70% vaccination of adults, so there will be herd immunity in adults, so then
Mm-hmm.
we can open the schools.
Dr. Moda, any comments?
Yes.
ત્યાં સુધી એમ નહીં.
Absolutely.
My question now is follow up question, કે ત્યાં સુધી કેમ અમે હેન્ડલ કરશું છોકરાઓને ઘરમાં? સ્કૂલ તો ઓપન નહીં થાય.
It is a problem, to handle the kids at home. They get bored. You see, online school teaching, online seeing
Yes,
all these videos, games,
yes,
they also get fed up. So my
yes,
both grandchildren has gone to Porbandar.
yes.
So that's why I'm saying to handle the kids is a problem. So they have gone to Khyati's sister's home and to see the places in Porbandar.
Yes,
So
yes.
they definitely get bored. Then they
Yeah.
fight, then they cry, they
Cry.
throw the objects, and all the things happen. You know, kids
So sir
handling
was
kids
also
problem,
yes,
problem.
yes, sir was also enjoying a vacation with kids playing cricket
Yeah,
until now.
I used to play daily, daily.
maybe.
બરાબર યા અહીંયા તો મોટો ક્વેશ્ચન એ છે કે પેરેન્ટ્સ આર ગેટિંગ ડિપ્રેસ્ડ because they have to handle the kids. So it was like, please open the daycare first, then you can open anything else. But open the daycare first. So
But
next question.
when,
Mhm. Yes, Dr. Muda.
yeah, if you open it early, your kids will be infected and then whole society will be infected. So it is a wiser step what Dr. Bhargav says, that let the adult, at least 60% should be vaccinated, then you open the school so that the disease should not spread. Our aim is this, that
Yes.
COVID should not spread, whether you open the school or you close the school. Correct, no?
Dr. Bhargav.
Yes,
Okay. All right. So thank you, Dr. Moda. Next question is, what type of children are at more risk of severe COVID?
yes. There are some subtypes of children which are at more risk of COVID other than same age and same weight. First, obese children. Obese children whose weight more than 40 kilogram, they act as adults. So there were incidents of children more than 40 kilogram, even they are of age 8 or 10 years, they have get severe COVID and they have been admitted in the past and get required oxygen and have very severe infiltration in the lungs. So obese children are at greater risk for COVID because they act as adults, because their weight is also like adults.
Hmm.
Second is children with asthma. Asthmatic children have very severe COVID, so they are to be kept in a quarantine when there is a disease in a high prevalence. Third is children with cardiovascular disease like congenital heart defect. Uh, Fourth is children with blood cancer or any malignancy. Fifth is children with renal disease, any kidney disease, congenital kidney disease. They are at high risk because they have hypertension also. Uh, and Others are children with any congenital malformation, any endocrine disease, or any inborn errors of metabolism. Some have metabolic errors of since congenital, like congenital diabetes, diabetes type 1. So they are at greater risk for COVID and congenital malformation of lungs, uh, like atelectasis and bronchiectasis. They are at greater risk for getting severe COVID.
All
So
right.
parents have to be taken a very great care.
Mhm. Thank you, Dr. Bhargav. The next question I have is about, already we have discussed, but I'd like to still take that. Which vaccine is best for adults? What are the advantages, efficiency, and adverse effects of various vaccines available across the world?
Yes, there are many types of vaccine. Uh, Mostly they are divided into, one is live attenuated vaccine, which contain live virus, but they have been inactivated in such a way that they cannot produce disease. They are attenuated by means of sequential culturing. They culture grown in media in laboratory, then again taken and grown in another media, then again another media. Sequential many after many culture, they are become less potent, less virulent, way up to the extent they cannot produce disease. But structurally they are a COVID virus, so they give immunity. Our Indian made our own vaccine, Covaxin, is this type, live attenuated virus, whole virus. Advantages of live vaccine is that they are effective against all variants because they do not contain part of the virus; they contain whole virus. So some virus may differ in some parts. Uh, Suppose we have a spike protein, but some virus have different spike protein. So the vaccine that contains a specific spike protein, they will not be effective against the other variants. But the vaccine contains whole virus, they will be effective against most of the variants. They are
Mm-hmm.
somewhat easy to store at 2 to 8 degree, like in our household refrigerator, and they are easy to produce. And it is a very old method of producing vaccine. Technically, that is easy. Another vaccine is a killed inactivated vaccine. The virus
Mm-hmm.
has been killed by chemical burns, heat, or some other method. Virus has been killed. The
Hmm.
Chinese vaccine is of this type.
Huh.
So it is more or less same as a live attenuated vaccine. Only virus is killed.
Killed.
The the third one is a vector-borne vaccine. So most of the vaccine are of this type, vector-borne vaccine. So they require some vector to get into the host cell. Host cell means our body.
Mm-hmm.
They require one vector. Vector means our vehicle. They require some vehicle. So what they do, there is a may I have a screen sharing of virus?
Yes, yes, yes. Let me share the screen. Yeah, here.
Yes, the you see the spike that is called surface protein or spike protein.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So they are responsible for attaching with the host.
Hmm.
So if and they are the main that produces antibody. So if we have antibody against this spike protein, they cannot be able to adhere when COVID infection virus get in our body. We have an antibody against spike protein, so they will not able to attach with our cells, because before they attach with the cell, our antibodies will kill the spikes. So
Mm-hmm.
we have to grow the spikes on the other cell other than COVID cell. So what they have done, they have taken an adenovirus, chimpanzee adenovirus, and
Mm-hmm.
grown and transferred the genetic material. The genetic material was taken from the virus that is responsible to grow the spike, and they have transferred the genetic material of the virus, coronavirus, into chimpanzee adenovirus. So chimpanzee adenovirus grow this spike same as a COVID virus. So માણસના માથા ઉપર ચિમ્પાન્ઝી જેવા વાળ ઉગાડવા જેવી વસ્તુ છે આ.
Oh.
So that other identify them as a chimpanzee. So it is like just like that. So we have used the vehicle as a chimpanzee adenovirus. એનો આપણે vehicle તરીકે use કર્યો છે. Why not human virus? Because human virus સામે આપણે already most of have immunity against all human viruses. So
Huh.
they will, when we inject it, they will kill the virus already at a time. So they will
Huh.
not be able to produce immunity. And second,
Huh.
they will itself produce disease. If they
Huh.
are not immune, they will itself produce disease. So chimpanzee adenovirus has been taken as a vehicle, as a vector. So our Covishield, AstraZeneca Covishield is this type of vaccine. Russian Sputnik V is this type of vaccine. So the advantage is that they can be stored at a 2 to 8 degree for a short period, and they are good, very good, effective against most of the variants, and relatively cheap to produce. The
Eh,
last one
mm-hmm.
is a DNA RNA vaccine, which is used in USA. Your Pfizer vaccine and Moderna vaccine. So
Uh,
what DNA? Yeah. So what DNA and mRNA vaccine in what they are used in
Dr. Bhargav, I think we can't hear you. Can you hear him, Dr. Moda?
No, no, no. He is frozen.
Frozen.
His
Arey, when he was
internet
telling,
has frozen. Now Bhargav has come.
okay, he is back. Yes. So, Dr. Bhargav, I couldn't hear you, but I think you are back now.
yes,
So, can you tell us about that Pfizer and Moderna? Because I was very, very curious because मैं ही vaccine લીધું છે.
yes, yes. So I am telling that some people have fear that they will change our DNA. So they will not change our DNA. It was feared
Can
in
you
USA
can you
that
be a little
they will
louder?
change the.
Can you be a little louder? Hello, Dr. Bhargav?
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes,
Can you be a little louder?
yes, yes. 1 minute. Yes, can you
Yes.
hear me?
No. Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you now. Perfect. Hmm.
yes, yes, yes. Uh,
Huh.
so, uh, what they produce is a mRNA responsible to produce the spike protein. In
Okay.
virus, the DNA is in the nucleus. They produce mRNA. It is like a library containing the book. There
Hmm.
is a DNA is like a book, like a
Hmm.
holy book. They
Hmm.
allow others to take a xerox of that, but they do not allow to take a main copy, or they do not allow to take the xerox back in the library. Just like that, mRNA is like a xerox copy of DNA. So
Hmm.
they produce mRNA in nucleus to.
Hmm.
They are the like full form of mRNA is messenger RNA. They give message via mRNA to produce the spike protein in the virus. So they take a xerox copy of DNA outside the nucleus and they give it to the cell membrane. So they grow spike protein. So, but what in a RNA vaccine they do? They produce mRNA in a lab that that have the sequence of nucleotide to produce spike protein in our cell. So they give mRNA, so our own cell produces spike protein, just like
Oh.
virus.
Oh.
But yeah, yeah. But the mRNA cannot enter nucleus. So DNA is a closed in nucleus like a vault. So they cannot change DNA. The fear is that they change DNA because mRNA works outside the nucleus. So it is a very and the it is a first type of vaccine, COVID, that is an mRNA vaccine in the world. Uh, Till now there were no mRNA vaccine. Firstly, it is produced, so there is a fear. Is a natural. There is a fear about the RNA vaccines, but it is a very costing somewhat high, and
Hmm.
disadvantage is that it requires very cold temperature, like
Hmm.
minus 60 degrees.
Oh.
That is in the Siberia. So it requires a very special type of fridge, somewhat costly vaccine. But advantage is that they can produce spike protein in very high number. In our vaccine, vector-borne, we give us some specific amount of virus that have spike protein. So it is a one calculated amount of spike protein we give. But in this mRNA vaccine, our own body produce spike protein. So it is in a high number. So efficacy is higher in Moderna and Pfizer than vector-borne disease, vector-borne vaccines. So it is
Huh.
around 90% in Pfizer and Moderna. So
I
that's it.
I was wondering my parents got vaccine in India, but they still got COVID. Well, I was thinking there must be something in the vaccine or some reason. Here, people
Yes.
are not getting impacted, at that level.
Yes.
Uh, what's happening in India a little bit, but I think now after this answer, it's clear in my head why.
Yeah.
um,
Our Covishield has efficacy around 84%.
huh.
Efficacy is measured in the by the ability to prevent severe disease, but it cannot prevent infection. As until and unless we got a nasal vaccine, we cannot prevent infection. So they can get COVID.
Dr. Modha, any comments?
Yeah, absolutely right. Because there are almost 10% of the people, 10 to 15%, I should say,
Hmm.
those who get, though they have got two doses of vaccine,
Yeah.
still they got a COVID. But this COVID will be a minor COVID. It
Yes,
will
that will be
not
my.
kill them. And so far, very 1 or 2% has lost their life, those who has developed COVID after vaccination. So I think still our vaccine is effective and almost 80 to 90%. And we are able to prevent the life of the patient, though they don't get a COVID. but they will survive. It will be a mild
Yes.
type of COVID, and that is the reason that even one of our friends who had a COVID after two doses of vaccine. So, but it is good one way that your immunity again increases, but you do almost 10 to 15% develop COVID again, but none
Yes.
of
Yes.
them had died,
Yes.
minus one.
I yes. I myself had COVID after two doses of vaccine.
Yeah,
But that was not severe.
yeah.
It was mild. So
And do you mind sharing which vaccination, which company or which vaccination you had taken?
Covishield.
Oh,
Covishield.
okay.
In Gujarat, it was Covishield only.
Yes.
There is no other vaccine available, only Covishield.
Okay. Very interesting answer. I mean, you literally nailed this answer in all different multidimensional aspects with pros and cons. Thank you, both doctors. Next question I have is does mRNA vaccine like Pfizer or Moderna vaccine change our DNA as it is feared in US? I think you answered it.
Yes, yes, yes. That answer was given already. There is not a possibility now, but if there is in some person uh, mRNA is able to enter the nucleus by any damage to the nucleus, and it may become in future. Until now, there has been no cases, but it may happen in sporadic cases where somehow it enters, and so it is a matter of future. That's why it has been given only emergency use permission. US CDC and government has not given it permission as a permanent vaccine. It is only a emergency use vaccination, and that is why they will survey the all the vaccinee, and then finally they will decide to give a permanent authorization, permanent use authorization.
So I didn't get catch that part when you say permanent authorization of Pfizer, Moderna, or any other
It
vaccine.
is an emergency use authorization. It is given as an
Oh,
emergency use authorization
oh,
for until and unless the epidemic lasts. The situation is grave. Then
oh,
up to then only, then they will review the authorization.
I see. Dr. Modha, you were saying something?
Yeah, it was about Pfizer and Moderna.
Okay.
So, still, suppose next wave of COVID comes with some
Uh-huh.
other different strain, then this may not work. So, they have give use to permit the use temporarily for this corona wave only.
Hmm.
It's like that.
So now we will have another vaccine, more side
Might have,
effects.
might have.
Oh God. Let's see how our life is now starting 2019. So thank you, doctors. The next question I'd like to take is which vaccine is best for children and when it will come in market?
Yes, that is the nasal vaccine. I have said that this answer will come in the last. So the nasal vaccine will come in market very shortly, probably in August till August, because Serum is and Bharat Biotech both are doing a trial of this vaccine. So that will be the best for children. Until then, we can give Covishield after the trial or Covaxin
Already. Thank you,
when
doctor.
government authorize them for using children, we can give Covaxin and Covishield.
Next question is which vaccines other than COVID vaccines are essential in children specifically during this COVID time?
Yes, that is when COVID vaccine is not authorized in pediatric, less than 12 year in USA, or in India less than 18 year. COVID vaccine is not authorized. So until then, we can give flu vaccine because they prevent from flu, swine flu. They have four antigens: flu, swine flu. Uh, Both is there. So they flu mimic the COVID. So we have a less burden of disease in children. And because flu and COVID virus has very similar structure, like they are from both are from corona family, એક જ કુટુંબના so so they can give cross
Um,
protection. It is a
one,
yes.
one comment, sorry to interrupt, but I think એક જ ડાળના પંખી, right?
Yes, like same branches. So they will give cross protection. So it is advised that for cross protection to COVID, flu vaccine is advisable in this COVID epidemic, and other vaccines all the normal schedule like pneumonia, pneumococcal vaccines, our DPT, MMR, all should be given in the regular time. There should be no postponement of vaccination due to COVID, because vaccines are more important during COVID than in the normal time. So all are important, but flu vaccine is more important during this COVID time due to its cross protection with COVID.
All right, Dr. Modha, any comments?
Yeah, absolutely right. And you see, once you give flu vaccine, as doctor said that it is a similar family or one family, and the siblings, different siblings like that. ત્યાં કીધું એમ એક જ ડાળના પંછી એટલે એકને બદલે બીજામાં એ હાલી જાય. That's why this is the good way of protecting children during the COVID. But do you give injectable or the oral forms are available?
In flu vaccine, nasal vaccine was available. That was also made by Serum. That was a very good vaccine. But at present, it is not available in the market, nasal vaccine. But I have taken two to three times, and my son and daughter was also given in consequently for 2 to 3 years that nasal vaccine, and it was a very good. So we can give injectable at this time when nasal flu vaccine is not available.
Mm-hmm. But do you have
But
it so we can give our grandchildren? Nasal.
sorry,
Nasal vaccine. Do you have it with you?
no, because it is not available since a long time. For 6 months, it is not available.
Mm-hmm.
Dr.
Okay,
Bhargav, can
okay.
you come in the frame a
Yes,
little
yes,
bit in the frame? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, now it's perfect. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Dr. Moda, so
Mm.
do you know, તો next question મારો એ જ છે કે તો do you know, Dr. Bhargav, when we will get that nasal flu vaccine? કે હવે not available in market in India.
The nasal vaccine will be available mostly by the time of September. Sorry, August to September in India.
Okay, already.
Okay.
But it depends on the government and all the licensing
Policy.
authority,
Yeah, yeah.
ICMR, that depend on that. Then it phone
All right.
already.
Um, so
Fine.
next question આપણે લઈએ. બસ આપણે almost હવે થઈ જ ગયો છે program. Which is, what is MISC in children? And what are the symptoms of MISC and complications of MISC?
Yes. MISC is a multi-system inflammatory syndrome in children. As the name suggests, it is a multi-system inflammation, means more than one systems are involved. And what is its
Sorry, go
what is
ahead.
it connect? What is it connection with COVID is that it is due to COVID antibody.
Hmm.
So our own it occurs in children. So children's own antibody produces damage to their own body.
Oh,
So આપણા જ કર્યા આપણને જ વાગે એના જેવું છે. So the when COVID infect children, they may have a disease or they may have a asymptomatic disease, but they produces antibodies against COVID virus. But after 2 weeks to 1.5 months, in that period up to 1.5 months, their antibody reacts with their own system, like cardiovascular system. When they react with cardiovascular system, they produce uh, 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 pericardial effusion or coronary aneurysm. Like the main vessel that supply our heart, they produce aneurysm that fully જાય. આપણે જે કઈ મુરલી થાય એ મુરલી ટાઈપની થાય એન્યુરિઝમ. Myocarditis, carditis they produce. When this antibody reacts with our GI tract, they cause diarrhea, vomiting. They can cause fever, and they can cause other system damage like our kidney damage. So the symptoms of what are the symptoms of MISC? How can we know that it is a MISC? So the symptoms are fever more than 3 days, uh, conjunctivitis, that is a non-purulent conjunctivitis. આપણે આંખ આવે ત્યારે જનરલી ચીપડા વડે, પણ આમાં ચીપડા નહીં વડે, only redness is there and that is only in the bulbar conjunctiva. જનરલી આંખ આવે ત્યારે આપણી આ જે પાપણ નીચેની conjunctiva અને આ જે ડોળા ઉપરની સફેદ conjunctiva બંને ઇન્વોલ્વ થાય, પણ આમાં ખાલી સફેદ conjunctiva ઉપર રેડનેસ દેખાય. that is called bulbar conjunctivitis. Skin rashes, ચામડી ઉપર ચાઠા નીકળે,
Yes, yes.
અને mucocutaneous lesions like stomatitis, મોઢામાં ચાંદા પડે. So these are the main symptoms of MISC. MISC માટે WHO એ 6 point ફોર્મ્યુલા નક્કી કરી છે કે ફીવર મોર દેન 3 days, so એટલે 3 દિવસથી વધારેનો તાવ હોય, CRP રેઝડ હોય અને આટલા સિમ્પટમ્સ હોય અને કોઈ પણ બે સિસ્ટમ્સ થી વધુ ઇન્વોલ્વ થયેલી હોય. માની લ્યો કે આંતરડા ઇન્વોલ્વ થયા હોય અને ચામડી ઉપર રેસ હોય, કોઈ પણ બે સિસ્ટમ્સ થી વધારે ઇન્વોલ્વ થઈ હોય તો એને MISC ગણાય. સો that is considered as a MISC. And the treatment are more or less same as a COVID, like steroids and antibodies. The mortality is more than COVID in MISC in children. It is around 1 to 2% in India. Uh, and But after the survey, it has come that steroid is a life-saving drug in MISC also. So when after we give steroid, there is a less cardiac complications. The investigations are more or less same like COVID, like CRP, ferritin, but echocardiography is essential in this MISC. So when we see a fever in children after COVID, or anyone in family get infected with COVID, uh,
Yes, yes.
we should suspect MISC in children. So we should get a laboratory investigation.
All right.
So
Thank you, Dr. Bhargav. Dr. Modha, any comments?
Yeah, MIST is a very different type of disease. I have seen one patient only. One of my relatives' son, he had this thing, but fortunately, with the help of steroid, he survived. But MIST really is difficult to treat, and the mortality is high in MIST. So this is the problem with MIST, and so many people died also due to MIST. See, even in US and UK, also there was a more mortality in MISC.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. So આપણે લઈએ next question, which is, please tell us about childhood obesity. I think the most important one, which I was waiting for.
yes, yes. First of all, I will define obesity. What we call obesity in children. How we can decide this child is obese or not. So, can I have a screen sharing of that chart?
Yes, yes. Give me 1 second. So here is the chart.
Yes. So we can decide obesity from the weight and height of the children. We have to calculate body mass index BMI. That is calculated from weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square. जो height है आपकी मीटर में, उसका स्क्वायर weight in kilogram divided by height in meter square. That is called body mass index. So when body mass index is more than 95th percentile. So all must know the what is percentile. Students have nowadays marks in percentile. So out of 100, the greatest five are called above 95th percentile. So if it is above 95th percentile, then it is a obesity. If it is between 85 to 95th percentile, then it is called overweight. So there is a difference between overweight and obesity. So and this is a WHO chart. It can calculate directly from weight and height. No need to calculate body mass index. If your weight is more than 95th percentile, then it is obesity. If your weight is between 85 to 95 percentile, then it is a overweight. So everyone can count from this weight and height for their age. So height is very important. So in same age, 5 year, 30 kilogram, 20 kilogram is also not obese, and 30 kilogram depending on their height. If he has he has a good height, then he may not be obese. So it is defined like that. In WHO, they define like one standard deviation and two standard deviation. It is more or same like a percentile. Two standard deviation is 95th percentile, so it is same. So this is how we decide obesity and overweight. The
So one question there. Sorry to interrupt. There is the difference in obesity between boys and girls, right? Is there any
Yeah,
major difference?
yeah. The difference is because their weight for age and weight for height, their normal
Mm-hmm.
weight for age and normal weight of height.
Mm-hmm.
They have made a chart WHO head. So that is because there is some endocrine influence. Normal weight for age is different in boys and girls. So that is different.
Alrighty. So I think we are almost done with all the questions. Dr. Moda, any comments?
Yeah, actually, childhood obesity is a problem. Some sometimes it is associated with other syndromes, renal syndromes, or some other abnormality of the uh, pituitary gland. Also, we get obesity. So,
Oh,
but in
Yes.
general, childhood obesity is a problematic and it is difficult to
Yes.
treat. That is what I think.
Yes. So
mm,
obesity, yes, obesity is divided into two parts. One is the non-pathological and one is pathological. What is called non-pathological obesity? That is, there is a imbalance between our intake and expenditure of energy. So when child spend most of the time sitting in front of TV, there is an imbalance between expenditure and income of energy. So it is
hmm,
called non-pathological. What is pathological? It is due to some endocrine disorder like
Yeah,
thyroid disorder. Child has a
yeah,
hypothyroidism, so metabolic rate is low, so he cannot spend energy. So thyroid, hypothalamic disorder, diabetes, um, any endocrine disorder, any congenital chromosomal disorder, in some chromosomal disorder, inborn errors of metabolism. One is pedigree syndrome. There is many syndromes that are genetic syndrome in children that causes obesity. So they are called pathological obesity. What is the most striking difference is that in normal non-pathological obesity, child is inactive, but in pathological obesity, child is active, but due to some inborn errors of metabolism, he is obese. Uh, and
so yeah, sorry, go ahead.
and the complications of obesity in children most of are type 2 because it is a root cause of obesity in adults. क्योंकि उसका जो अ, अ, पाया है जो मूल है एडल्ट ओबेसिटी का वो चाइल्डहुड से ही शुरू होता है तो
That's where I was telling in the beginning of the show. Okay, when kids grow older, they go to the dietitians and they're like, "अरे बचपन थी हमने पराठे ही खाए घी वाले." So, what is your advice for these moms who are always putting ghee, always feeding, all this kind of chocolates? खा बेटा पराठू खा, आ खा ते खा. it is a good up to a certain limit, right? You can't always feed ghee wale parothe to your kids every single day.
Yes, over eating of fatty diet is also. But the most problematic thing in nowadays is packaged food. Packaged food has a very high calorie. Thumbs up, Coca-Cola, more than ghee. They are very responsible for obesity, like wafers, French fries, McDonald's burger. They are very much responsible. The number one thing. The number two thing is all mobile games and TV games. Outdoor games are absolutely now vanished. So all games are indoor, high screen time. Uh, that they are more responsible than this ghee, and because
Ghee and parotha.
ghee was eaten in past also
Yeah.
since many years, but there were no obesity in the past like this. And you know what is the incidence of obesity in USA? In USA, the incidence is 19.3% of hyperweight and overweight and obesity. So one in out of five children are obese. In Europe, it is a 30% in incidence of obesity. Uh, overweight and obesity together forms 30%. And in
Oof.
India also, they have increased from 9% in 2001 to 13.9% in 2010. After 2000, there is no clear-cut data, but it has increased in 10% in 2001 to 2010. So in
Oh.
India also it is increasing the incidence of obesity.
Excellent, Dr. Bhargav and Dr. Modha. Have I think I want to thank
Yes.
you for this amazing information. And I want to ask Dr. Modha ke kale kon આવે છે?
Tomorrow is our 51st show, no? So our administrative team will come. So Vishal, Vaibhav, and uh, this thing, our Korwa Road Hospital's Dr. Sanat and Mr. Mihir. So they are will tomorrow. They will be performing in our
I,
show.
I thought Dr. Falguni was coming tomorrow. Okay, no.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
So
then no, this.
I
Yeah.
will. Let me see. Let me see.
Yes, yes.
Falguni's name I have written or not.
On
I have
Tuesday.
not written,
She
but
was
I will
saying
talk
it's
to
Tuesday.
Falguni. Yes,
Yes,
Falguni
yes.
is ready.
Yes. So yeah, we will have tomorrow also. We will update you on the live stream ke kon avse.
Yeah.
But
Dr.
as you know,
Falguni
yes,
is a cardiologist,
in
and
Lilavati.
she is the female cardiologist and working at Lilavati Hospital. So she will tell us about COVID and cardiology. And
Mhm.
day after, we are getting Dr. Dekiwadia.
In popular
And
demand.
yeah, and after that, we'll have this our admin team.
Admin staff. Okay,
Yeah.
already. Management staff of COVID.
Okay.
Yes, already. Thank you, Dr. Bhargav. તમને કઈ કહેવું છે? Any
Thank you.
feedback for us? Then let us know.
It was my privilege to talk with all of you, especially our mentor, Dr. Prakash Modha, who is like a mentor and our Bhishma
Oh,
Pitama of
thank you, sir.
all doctors of Rajkot, and my neighbor also.
We are
અરે વાહ.
neighbors. Yeah.
Excellent. Great,
So it was
great.
a
So see
very,
you. Very good. Well done, Bhargav. Very good. Very nice
yes,
show.
yes,
Very good
yes.
information.
Thank
Information
you to
comes
give
from
me
your studio
opportunity.
in
Thank
simple
you very much.
language. That was very
Yes,
important. In
yes, yes.
simple language, you have
Thank,
explained the viewers that
Yes,
anybody can understand it. Thank you.
thank
totally.
you,
Thank you so much. And good night.
thank you,
And it's
Thank
a
you.
good day.
Thank
Okay.
thank you.
you.
Thank you.
Good
Bye.
night.
Bye.